Hi everybody! So today I felt like doing some jelly printing again, and I thought about creating some envelopes because I actually want to create something that I will use or have a use for. And right now I'm sending quite a lot of letters. So yeah, I thought about creating some envelopes out of paper. So I grabbed my jelly plate. This is the DIN A4 sized one. Well, actually it's not DIN A4, but almost like it's the American letter sized format. And grabbed some paper. This is just normal printing paper, a little more heavier one. I think this is 120 gram. I got lots of acrylic paints in all different colors, my little brayer, and some stencils, a variety of stencils and rubber stamps. So that's what I'm going to use. Yeah, I think that is it already. And I will just get started first by creating some fun jelly prints. We'll put you in fast forward for this part, and then we'll come back to yeah, to create our envelopes. So all my prints have dried. I'm just gonna flip through them. And I kind of like this color scheme with some neon colors in there. That actually was the look I was going for. And I didn't put too much pattern on there. Maybe if it would be like an art journal page, I would have kept on going to add more texture to the background. But in this case, since I wanted to be envelopes and maybe some background for ATCs or something, I just stick with a pretty basic background because I don't want it to be too busy and too overcrowded. And sometimes I really like the more subtle elements a lot better. I love this one. This one. Yeah. I also love this one. So I'm really satisfied with the way those prints turned out. What I'm gonna do next, I already told you I want to do some envelopes with those jelly printed papers. If you are not familiar with the envelope punch board, you might want to check out some other videos, because there are plenty of videos out there which kind of explain how it works, how you measure and where you put things and where you punch and all that stuff you need to know. It's actually very, very easy peasy. That's why I really love this one. Yeah, I already pre-cut some of the pages into the size for the envelopes I would like to go for. In this case, this one is 20 by 20, 20 by 20 and 19 by 19 centimeters for different sizes of envelopes. And I just cut off the excess, which I will keep, and I might use it kind of like a closure or a ribbon to wrap around letters, or for backgrounds, for ATCs or whatever. So there are actually things you can do with those excess things or papers as well. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see which one. This one is 20 by 20, and I'm just gonna check out the size of envelope I will go for and see where I have to align it up here. It's 8.6. Yeah, 8.6, and I will do the notch this way so that I can wrap it around like that, that I will have the nice printed side on the outside. So I will just align it at 8.6 up here. Again, there are videos out there which kind of explain that in detail. And I will make the first punch, and I will just score this line. I will just flip it over, align it at this notch, do the next punch, do the next score, and so on. So actually that is it already. I will just round those corners so that it looks a little bit nicer, like that. And I will just put it aside and do the next one as well real quick. 8.6 punch, and you just score. And this one I want it to be a little smaller, a different size of envelope, but actually this is just cut 1 centimeter smaller in square, but you have to actually align it at the same point at 8.6. Alright, just punch those corners real quick, like that, and like that. So you get the idea. And now I have this kind of envelope template. Actually, I like both sides of them, so now just where I have this score line, I'll just flip and fold it like that. There you have your envelope, and I will just, let's see, beautiful. Just use a little bit of tape, craft tape, double-sided tape. Like that. Just flip that over, press it down, and there you go. You have your beautiful, cute little jelly printed, personalized envelope, and I really love that. Let me just do the other ones very quick. Just hope the video is not getting too dark, because it's kind of starting to get dark outside. So I kind of have to hurry a little bit through this video, but we are almost done, so there you go. As you can see, this is just a tiny bit smaller, a different size, and you can really do many different sizes and shapes of envelopes with this punch board, which I really love. Okay, so I see my battery is about to die as well, so alright, so the battery died, and yeah, at a point where I didn't like it, so I changed the battery, I turned on the artificial light, and yeah, finished this envelope. So here are actually the 3 of them I just did, and this especially looks good if you use like an effect paint, like with a metallic, or mix some matte and some glossy acrylic paints while you're working with the jelly plate. Like in this case, I'm not sure if you can see that, but you have some matte acrylic paints and some glossy ones, and the white one really left a very nice texture. And yeah, I really love it if you touch something and it really has some texture on it. So that's what I really love about them. And as you can see, you've seen earlier when I put the paper onto the jelly plate and then braid over the back of the paper. And actually, I don't mind. If you mind, you of course clean your brayer and then go over the back side. But I don't mind having like some color on the back side. In this case, for example, it actually looks pretty cool, because this envelope is also colored on the inside. And what I would do now is I would kind of decorate the envelopes some more. In the end, I kind of like to sew them along the edges, but that's what I will do when I close this, like sewing this way along the outside. But of course you have to make sure that the letter or the card you put inside is not like on the edges, because otherwise you would sew through all of the stuff inside. That's not what we want. But let me see. Yeah, actually you can finish this off in different ways, and it also depends on the color you used and the darkness of the envelope. Like for example, I wouldn't write directly onto this envelope probably, because, well, the postal system sometimes is a little bit difficult, and if you can't really read it very well, yeah, they have to kind of hand sort the letters. But actually I think they have to hand sort those anyway, because they're not like perfectly printed. But anyway, so the postal shop I give my letters to, they're kind of not so happy about all of this stuff. So, but anyway, they have to take it, and they did in the past. So, depending on the lightness of your envelope, I would decide if I would write directly onto the envelope, like the address and the sender, and stamp onto it. So let me just finish 2 of them. Probably I would add a little more black, a little more texture, like for example with a stamp, with a nice background stamp like this one, because I kind of want a little more contrast on there. And in this case, with background stamps, I'm not keen on having the perfect print. So in this case, I would just use it as it is. Of course, I could put it on my clear acrylic block, but in this case, I don't mind, because I just want to add a little bit of texture. Like this, for example, I'll just put this down here, press it down lightly and lift it back off, so I have a little bit more texture, and it kind of adds a little bit of interest to the whole thing. Of course, it's all up to you. Some of you might like the basic plain version better, some of you like the embellished version better, so that's all kind of depends on your liking and on the look you're going for. So do a little bit on the background, on the back side, not on the background. Like that. For example, let's see what I will do. First gonna let this dry, and for example on this one, I think, let's take this one, I would use kind of a little card thingy for the address field, or I also like those papers. So actually all sorts of papers, of scrapbook papers, of note papers, note sheets, and I will just use it to adhere the address. I will cut that a little bit smaller, because don't want to take away too much of the background we just created. So I will probably cut it like that and use the other one for the sender, like that, and like that, for example. You can even do that a little smaller. It always depends on the address you want to write on it, because you know some countries they just have like 3 lines or 4 lines, And some addresses like sending to the UK, they have like 25 lines on here. So I'm sorry, UK people. No, but you really have a very, very long address with many lines on there. So it's always kind of a little more difficult. So like that, for example. I'll just glue that down. Like that, for example. Then I would just maybe do some doodling on here. And maybe I would also doodle on the background a little bit. I kind of like those sketchy lines. In case you're wondering, I'm again, like in almost all of my art, I'm using the black Uniball eye. This is a waterproof fine liner, which I really, really, really love to work with. Like that. Let's see. So again, it all depends on the look you are going for. Like that, for example. I don't want to doodle too much on here right now because I'm not sure which address I'm going to put on here. And then I would write my sender's address like up here, of course. So I guess that's not super exciting for you, but and so on. Write the address here, and then you know, there comes this airmail thing, and then I would probably add some more doodles. It always depends. You can also like incorporate Gelliprinted images into your doodles, which I really love. Like in this case, you have this flower here, and I kind of like the idea of incorporating it into my doodles. Like in this case, this, for example. Yeah, and I really like this, very cute, and it looks even better if you have, when you have, you know, the address nicely written on here. Looks much better then of course you can like decorate the back of the envelope as well, but I guess that's not super exciting now, so I will just and in this one I would probably write the address right onto the envelope, because this is kind of a nice frame and the background is very light. So I would probably write directly onto the envelope. Just make sure that you really use a pen which is waterproof, so that the ink won't like disappear while it's traveling. So yes, sketchy outline here as well. And that's why I'm using a little bit, or why I used a little bit more of a heavyweight paper. Because if you would use like the normal 60 or 80 gram printer paper, the envelope wouldn't be as sturdy as you would maybe want it to be. And I'm kind of a little bit paranoid when sending things. Because sometimes the envelopes, they get teared open during the sending process in the machine, in the sorting machine. So I kind of like to have a little more of a sturdy envelope, because I of course don't want anything to fall out. Okay, so yep, maybe let's do this one as well. Let me maybe just open or use this one. Of course you could also like use the leftover papers from the other ones, or from the same one, to glue it on here. Let's see, maybe I kind of like this, because there's not much pattern on there, but it's still the same color. So I would probably cut this one. Like that. And just lighten it up a little bit with some white acrylic paint. So I just made up my mind again, as I do very often, because I kind of like the contrast with the pink and the white. So I just grabbed my white Sharpie paint marker, and I don't need those actually. And I would probably just go right onto the envelope. And this one also dries permanent, so you don't need to be afraid that the letters disappear. Just think I will use this one because there's this white crackle on here, and I don't want the letters to kind of get mixed up with my white paint. So I would probably put that on here, and then write the address onto that field. on. Let me just glue that down real quick.
Of course, if you like want it the easy way, you could also use like those label printing sheets and just print off the address with your computer, with your printer, and then be on the safe side. But I kind of like to finish this off with some hand work. You can already hear like the texture on this paper. I really love that. Kind of always depends on how thick you apply the acrylic paint layers to the jelly plate. Of course, the thicker you apply the acrylic paint, the more like dimension and texture you will get on there. Alright, I will just go on, write my address and the address I sent to, like that. That's really cute. And again, you could just add some doodles if you like. So, those are 3 samples, and I really love doing those envelopes. Kind of my my favorite, or one of my favorite parts of mailing things off. It just makes me happy to yeah, to send off beautiful envelopes like that, and to know that couple of days later somebody will just find those envelopes in their mailbox, because we all know, like, we are opening our mailboxes and yeah, most of the time there are just plain white letters in there, or like advertising or bills. And yeah, so it's really nice and lovely to just have some happy mail, which just kind of puts a smile on your face when you find it in your mailbox and open it. And that's why lately I really love to send and receive, of course, letters again. And I kind of rediscovered this old passion of mine, because years ago I really loved like swapping and pen paling and stuff like that. Yeah, but it just kind of that's, you know, there were other things in life, of course, and they are still, but yeah, for me it's kind of, you know, I was doing all of those mixed media things, and I'm still doing them, and working in my art journals and doing like cards and canvases and all this stuff. But then you come to a point where you see what to do with all of this stuff. You know, you have a huge pile of canvases and canvas boards and art journals and everything, and it's just piling up, and you don't know what to do with it. So that's why I really love kind of mail art, because you have the fun of creating it, but it also kind of has a purpose, has a use, and you will make somebody else happy with it, and somebody else will appreciate it, hopefully. So that's what I really love about it, and in exchange you get some nice nice art from other people around the world, which is fun. So if you kind of like stuff like that, you might want to check out the links on my blog, or you might want to check out SwapBot, which is a great community for like finding swaps. There are many different swaps, like for ATCs, for pen pal letters, for art journaling pages, for postcards, for whatever. So whatever you fancy, I'm sure there is a swap for that. Yeah, so I will stop to talk now, stop rambling, and I hope you kind of liked this little cute tutorial with my jelly printing plate and with my envelope punch board. And yeah, I think that is it. And so thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.